Hello everybody, this is Mateo and welcome to my new Let's Play. Let's Play Final Fantasy II. And we're just gonna go with the standard names for everybody, just by the way, real quick. And while this intro stuff is going, I guess I'll explain this Let's Play real quick. So this is going to be the third project to go alongside Banjo-Tooie and Crash Bandicoot. The way that this should work is both Crash Bandicoot and Banjo-Tooie should alternate, so every other day we'll have Banjo-Tooie, and then the days that there aren't Banjo-Tooie, there will be Crash Bandicoot. And then this game will be up every day or every other day as well, just kind of depending, as a side project, quote-unquote. However, today and probably for the next couple days there will only be Final Fantasy II, because currently my friend Tim from the VG Cave, he has the Dazzle because him and John are recording their half of the Pokemon Snap race that they're currently doing. Jacob and I have already done our half, and they need to do their half now. And we only have one Dazzle between the four of us, and that's mine. So they're borrowing it, and I was actually going to sit down and record Crash Bandicoot today, and I was like, wait a minute, they have my Dazzle. I was going to start this like a week later, but, well, we're starting it now because I happened to just sit down and record this a couple days ago, although I don't have much of a vault, quote-unquote, of videos. And we're immediately getting attacked. Alright, let's kill these guys, or... Okay, this is going very well. Okay, let's... Very, very well. Okay, Marie, get him! Oh, that didn't work at all. Well, great. That... I could not imagine that going any better. Well, good game, guys. I'll see you all for the next Let's Play. How many times has that joke been made during that scene? Okay, well, it would appear that we aren't necessarily dead, we are just mostly dead. And apparently to bring him to life, it involves seizures. Alright then, so I don't know why it took me so long to read those 3 lines. As for most of my RPG commentaries, this is going to be post-commentary, which means that I am talking over the video after recording it, and I'm just watching the video again after I've edited it. Edited it is always such a weird phrase, because there are just too many ids in it. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's just easier for me, because I don't have to continuously stop talking whenever I get into an encounter, and constantly get interrupted as well. So that's the thing, especially with how much editing goes into these RPGs, especially with how high the encounter rate is in this game. There are going to be a lot of battles that I'm going to be cutting out. And also, as for most of my, well, all of my Final Fantasy Let's Plays, all 2 of them currently, one of which I'm going to redo eventually, probably after 3, because 4 is the one that I'm going to redo. This is going to be 100% Bestiary. If you look in your pause menu, you go into config, there'll be a thing that says Bestiary, and that basically has info on all of the monsters in the game. And basically, I'm going to kill at least 1 of every single monster in this game. That's the whole plan here. Really should have gone to the options and changed some stuff. For instance, the ability to just automatically run, and also faster text speed, because this is taking forever. Ah, yes, the life force. Sure. I was gonna say, do I have 4,000 of them, but that's life points. So, yeah, that doesn't really work out. You know nothing of battle. Thanks a lot, lady. Yeah, well, I mean, I know very little about battle. I know how to die in battle. Thank you very much. Other than that, I know nothing of battle. You're mostly right. Okay, what's your password? Oh, gee, I wonder which one of those is the password. So, this is a weird system in Final Fantasy II that they added. Occasionally, main characters will bring up these key words that you have to learn, for instance, Wild Rose. And then you can talk to other key characters and you'll get the chance to use some of those. And based on what keyword you use, you could get a different reaction. For instance, if you go to the White Mage over there... Okay, yeah, finally doing this now. But if you go to the White Mage over here, if his name, well, he's Minwu, You can tell him the password Wild Rose that you learned from Hilda, and you can get more information from him. So just try the different keywords with different characters. It really doesn't hurt to. The worst thing will be you get a little question mark saying that that character doesn't know anything about that. Like, if you say Wild Rose to somebody who isn't a part of the rebel army, they won't react at all. They'll just give you a question mark and you'll try again with a different password. See, whenever there's red text, you want to make sure that you learn those passwords. Here is the king of the place, whose daughter, the Princess Hilda, is now taking over this area. Although, if you notice, this really isn't much of a castle, it's more of a town building. The kingdom that all these people came from, and our main characters as well, Finn, was attacked by the main army of the Emperor. And, well, that was bad. They took it over and threw us out, basically, because we were rebelling against them. And now we've basically set up shop in this small town of Altair. What is this, Assassin's Creed? Well, not quite, but we have set up this little stronghold, I guess, in order to fight back. So, yeah. Okay. Another thing to note about our characters is that they have basically a blank slate. You can make all of these characters to do whatever you want them to do. You could give them all broadswords, you can give them all just whatever equipment you want. There's no like, oh, this person can't use this equipment because they're a mage or whatever. You know, like a mage could generally not use like a broadsword. But in this game, any character can learn any magic and they can use any weapon. So you could very well have a black mage with an axe or a broadsword or something like that, which is really, really neat. I like and dislike that. I like being able to customize my characters to an extent, although I don't like having it to the point where they're just a blank slate and they can basically all do the same things. Maybe it's because I grew up with Final Fantasy IV. That was the first Final Fantasy I played, and in that game everybody had a set job class. Although I do still like to have some control over my character's growth or whatever. I'm trying to think of a game in the series that did it really well. I guess Final Fantasy IX, like in that game, everybody had a specific job. Like you had Vivi the Black Mage and Steiner the Knight, but you also had these little side abilities that you could give them to customize them into what you wanted to do. That game did it pretty well. It could have been done a little better, but still, that's a thing. These enemies here, these are all enemies that you can find around the town of Altair. All of them are really vanilla. Other than these hornets, their attack could possibly poison you, as you saw with Furion there. But the poison will wear off by the end of the battle, so you don't have to worry about it. And even if you get low, you can just go to the inn and heal up. The way that the inn works in this game is that it's not a flat rate. It's actually based on how much health you have to heal. So if you have to heal a very, very low amount of HP, it'll only cost you like 5 gil. Whereas if you have to heal a lot of health, it'll cost you more, which is very nice. Okay, I'm going to buy one of each of the elemental spells. For Maria, I'm basically going to set her up to be my main mage. Mostly a white mage, but she's also going to have those 3 elemental spells and then a whole bunch of white magic spells, although I might end up giving her something like Flare or something cool later on if I have the space for it. And I'm also going to give the Cure Tome to Furion and Guy as well, just in case. They can do a little bit of healing or whatever, so Maria can save some HP. I mean, they have the space for it, and it's not like it's bad for them to have spells on them. So that'll help out a little. Okay, I guess I should also talk about the level up system in this game. You don't gain levels like an average RPG. There is no level in this whatsoever. Instead, everything has its own level. Every single weapon type, every single spell, every single stat. So, for instance, we're just going to say Furion. You can have a sword, axe, staff, knife, bow level, and as you use whatever weapon, that level will slowly go up. If you go into your status menu, you'll be able to see a little red bar slowly fill up as you battle more monsters using that weapon. So say for instance I have Furion on swords. As he constantly beats monsters with a sword, his sword level will go up and he'll start doing more damage and getting more hits and stuff like that. So you generally want to decide early on what kind of weapon you want each character to use. I decided to stick with what they started with, have Furion on swords, Guy on axes, and Maria on bows. I might move Maria onto a staff later on. I don't really know. For now, she's on a bow, just because. Also, by the way, you don't want to go this far up north. A lot of the world is open to you, and you can basically figure out whether you're supposed to be here or not, depending on how hard the enemies kill you. And this is one of the sections where the enemies are going to kill you super hard. Luckily, they're missing a lot, but yeah, I'm going to die super hard. That tortoise, we are getting out of here. So, again, a lot of the world is opened up to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want to go up to the certain areas of the world. So in this game you want to make sure that you save often for that reason. Oh great, Guy's dead now. And it seems like we're also having a hard time running away. Now it's just Maria. Needless to say, I got a game over and we are moving on. We are not going to go that far up north. They luckily mark it sort of as a giant marsh, and you know, marsh is bad or whatever. So yeah, we're actually supposed to wrap around this lake, and I knew the kingdom was around here somewhere, I just couldn't exactly locate where. Just as a note, it has been a very, very long time since I last played this game. We're talking years. So, and I've only played through this game once. So we're probably going to have me bumbling around a little bit every once in a while. For instance, right now, I know I'm supposed to go to the pub, but I can't remember where the pub is. Another thing you want to note is you do not want to talk to any of these soldier guys. You will get into a battle, and they will kill you hard. Like the tortoise and the ogres. So don't talk to them whatsoever. It's not like you get into their eyesight and they'll fight you. It's just you talk to them and then they'll fight you. Otherwise, they're completely okay. When I first played through this game, I actually trained up to the point where I could beat one of these guys, thinking I had to get into the inn. And so I beat him and was going to go into the inn because I thought that's where I had to go into. But in fact, no, I think he still stays there. The inn was empty or something. There was basically nothing there. So you do not want to fight these guys at all. So yeah, basically for off-screen training, I got Furion up to 100 HP. And then at that point I stopped because that seemed like a good amount to have. So Maria has somewhere around 50 HP. Guy, I think, has 150 or something like that. For HP, basically, the more that your character gets hit, the more HP they'll gain. So that's a thing. And other things like the more that they attack, the more their attack stat or strength or whatever it's called would go up. The more that they get hit, the more defense they'll gain as well, or stamina. So yeah, the leveling up system is kind of weird, especially when you consider when this game was first made, only a couple years after the first Final Fantasy, which kind of set the standard for RPGs, and then how soon they were trying different things with leveling up or different mechanics, other than just your jobs or whatever. It's kind of interesting, and you know, it works, although the mechanic makes this not my favorite Final Fantasy, as well as how plain the story is, because again, it is an NES originally, but it still works. It's still a good game. So we are getting Scott's ring, and unfortunately, because of the battle from earlier, he is going to perish, and in true RPG fashion, he just disappears into thin air. But with that, we have concluded our first part. Kind of action-packed for a first part, relatively speaking, for RPGs or whatever. And in the next one, we will go back to Altair, show Hilda the ring, and maybe I won't end on a black screen. We'll see. See you all then. Goodbye. I also feel like I did a kind of bad job explaining all that stuff. If you all didn't understand anything, let me know, and I'll try again next part. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to go with that. So, yeah. Bananas.